So my lovely people, I read a thing today and I feel like I'm on a roll, so I'm going to give it a go. It's chocolate sourdough. Is that even a thing? I don't know. But it's chocolate and it's bread, so how bad can it be? So we're going to give it a go together. So we're going to start with our starter. Now I keep mine in a little jar like this, just with this kind of like little mesh thing on top. You can see mine is currently empty, but that's what I'm going to use to start my next batch of starter. But I've already put it in here because I weighed it out. So I'm just going to put that in. Now, I don't like faffing about, so I'm not doing all this mixing things separately. I just love to show it all in together. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll learn together. So that was my starter. I've already got flour in there. I just use bog standard strong bread flour from Lidl or Aldi or wherever you prefer. You can use the posh stuff if you like. I don't. Then in here I've got the water and cocoa powder together. If it works out, I'll post the recipe. If it doesn't, this video may never see the light of day. So I'm going to plop that in. Looks like hot chocolate. Let me see if I can salvage anything from in there, chocolate wise. So I use a lot of jars because I do a lot of canning, but that's another story for another day. So that was the water. And then I've got in here some brown sugar and some salt. Again, who knows? It's a thing. We'll give it a go. So I've done one of my typical things in that I didn't like any particular recipe, so I've fluffed about and made my own. So again, if it turns out, you'll see this video. If it doesn't, you won't. And then we're going to mix, mix, mix. Now I use a Dutch whisk. I love it. I use it for everything. Anything that you need mixy mix, I use my Dutch whisk. So this smells divine. So just mix it up into a shaggy dough. What's a shaggy dough? I hear you ask. Well, I think it's something that's a little bit just mixed. And then we're going to leave this for half an hour. So it shouldn't be overly wet. I just have no success with overly wet hydrated doughs, so I prefer mine not as wet. So you can see that consistency. It looks a bit like really thick cookie batter, I would say. I don't know, I could eat that right now actually. So we're going to leave that for half an hour, just out, covered up with a dishcloth, and then we'll come back and give it its first set of folds. See you then. So peeps, my house is always cold, so I keep my stuff proving in the oven just with the light on. See, it's literally just turned on, not even on any temperature. I literally get it and I turn it on and it just puts the light on. It's down there in the bottom. So we'll get it out and do our first set of stretch and folds. So here we are, bread is on the counter. Let's get rid of that. As you can see, that's been sat there for about half an hour. We're going to do our first series of stretch and folds, or whatever you want to call it really, it's just folding. So the way I do it is I pick it up and you'll see, I'm going to bring you further down. Hold on. Okay, that's a bit better. So if you're struggling, wet your hands a little, then just pick it up, release it, and then pick it up like that, and then fold it over itself, and that's it. Turn, a quarter turn, pick it up, stretch it a little bit, fold it over itself. Turn, pick it up, stretch it a little bit, put it down, fold it over itself, and then the last one, so you want to do it about 4 revolutions, give it a little bit of a stretch, down, over itself, and you'll see it's already starting to take a bit more shape. Okay, we're going to do that now. We're going to put that back in the oven, or I'm going to put it back on the oven. If you've got a warm house, leave it on your countertop, covered for half an hour. Leave it for half an hour, repeat that process. We're going to do that a total of 4 times over the next 2 hours. So every half hour, a bunch of folds like that, and then it'll be ready to leave and ferment for the bulk ferment. But we'll get to that bit when we get to that bit. So I will join you after I've done all of the stretch and folds. Okay, so we're at the final set of folds, and look how smooth it is already. So we're going to do one more set of folds and then just leave it for the next 3 to 6 hours. And then I'm going to pop it in a banneton before I go to bed. See, it's already getting much more tension. And that's it. That's the final set of folds. And then when I'm ready to go to bed, I'll pop that in a banneton, stick it in the fridge, and then we'll bake it in the morning. Okay, so it's just past midnight. We're going to do the final shape and then put it in our banneton and stick it in the freezer. So we're just going to take this out. It smells divine. Make it into a rectangle. Do a bit of shaping and folding. Probably not the way that everybody does it, but it's the way that I'm going to do it. Make it into a ball shape. Bring some tension to it. There we go. And then stick it in the banneton and say goodnight. Stick it in the fridge. So here we are, morning after, it's risen. So we're just going to score it, put it in the Dutch oven and whack it in the oven from cold. So turn it upside down, hope that it comes out. It did, that's a bonus. Give it a little, love it when they do that. So I'm just going to score it now. I'm not going to do anything pretty. Well, maybe. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So I'm just going to give it some cuts. I hate doing this. I always think it's not going to come out right. Be back in a minute. Okay, so that's what we've ended up with. Don't know what it is, but anyway, that's life. We'll stick it inside the Dutch oven, all cold. This is cold, the oven's cold, everything's cold. So I'm just going to put it in at 240 for an hour and then take the lid off, and then 20 minutes, and then we'll see what happens. And here we are, she's out of the oven. Hot, hot, hot. And she's a beauty, look at that. I'm telling you, in a Dutch oven, cold oven, 1 hour, look. Fantastic. I'm telling you, it's the best way. Cold Dutch oven, and we'll see what the crumb looks like once it's cooled down. Right, let's take a look at this crumb structure. Not that it matters, because we'll eat it anyway. There we go. That's turned out all right. Now I'm going to taste it. So, here we are. Bit of bread, bit of butter. Might be my new favourite. Not overly chocolatey, but, you know, something different. Give it a try. Here's a picture of the final loaf, just to get a better look at it. If you like this one and you fancy me doing any more, let me know. If you want any questions answering, also let me know.